Sam and Colby are back in the firing line once again. This time it is from the debunking community, as they are accusing Sam and Colby of leveraging the copyright system to try and silence critics. This has come from a multitude of paranormal debunking channels, including Beardo, including Mythos Paranormal, and a couple of others like the Side Eye Guy as well, who has also had issues, not with the copyright system as Sam and Colby, but also, I think it came from Twin Paranormal on the Side Eye Guy's side. Now, the copyright system on YouTube is a very fickle thing, okay? If someone claims even a second of your video, every cent or penny of ad revenue made on that video goes directly to the copyright claimee, unless it's able to be combated, and that's quite a tricky thing to do as well, because you can submit a form and, say on YouTube why you believe your video falls under fair use X, Y, and Z. YouTube will take the neutral party stand of this, but it's between you and the claimee. And the claimee can just literally reject it straight off the bat, and then you can either appeal it to court or you can just let it go. By that point, most people just kind of let it go. But that's how the copyright system on YouTube works. It's a very fickle thing. It's very difficult to maneuver. And music's usually the hot thing that people kind of get in trouble for, but there's features on there to do that. But debunking channels are apparently having a lot of bother with Sam and Colby and channels like that with the copyright system. A video was made about 4 weeks ago by Mythos Paranormal, cited copyrighted again. They don't like reactions, yet have a reaction channel. And it's one of those, it was a video where I think Mythos is on holiday, and it's a very scenic video throughout where he's at different points and places, and he's talking about how his videos have been copyrighted by Sam and Colby, but talks about the hypocrisy of that because they themselves have a reaction channel and they react to YouTube content in a very similar manner, but they seem to be able to get away with it. Now, Beardo has also chimed in with his 10 cents recently in a video titled Sam and Colby Stop This Now, in which he basically talks about how he's been copyright struck, or claimed at least, by Sam and Colby, but a claim can turn into a strike if it is appealed and rejected multiple times, right? So Beardo at the very beginning states that his video was intended to be a paranormal sins video, where he obviously talks about a paranormal video and does the whole sin count and all the rest of it. But to try and increase the visibility of the video, because apparently they don't perform very well, he's decided to just make it a straight reaction video, debunking video, whatever he typically does. But he was claimed by a company called Spotter 3. Now, Spotter 3 are Sam and Colby's management company. If you don't know about management companies, obviously they kind of represent you and your content, and they basically have your best interest at heart, because if you make money, they make money, is typically the way that it goes. And obviously when it comes to Sam and Colby, they make a shit ton of money, so they're trying to keep their assets intact. Now, Beardo argues that the content that he created actually falls under fair use and shows very cleanly why he feels that is the case by showing his editing software. As they heavily edited Sam and Colby's footage by adding filters, altering pitch, overlaying webcam and text to transform it, not merely copy it. Now, all you have to do to claim it to be a reaction video, to be fair, is just have your face in the corner. If you've just got the entire video re-uploaded to your channel, then that's a fair thing to kind of take out. Or if it's like clipped up sections of your video that you didn't give permission to use, then you've got a fair point on your hands. But then there's obviously a criticism of Sam and Colby themselves. So Beardo accuses Sam and Colby of producing misleading or exaggerated paranormal content to manipulate their audience, citing emotional manipulation and staged events, like what happened at the Conjuring House, or a fake, quote, split up narrative. And they highlight the hypocrisy of Sam and Colby, who run a reaction channel with 2.2 million subscribers, yet allegedly silence critics via copyright claims, which again is a very similar narrative to that of Mythos Paranormal. And then he goes on to talk about the management company in regards to Sam and Colby, so Spotter 3, and basically accuse them of abusing the copyright system, which to try and silence critics, essentially claiming ad revenue from videos or issuing strikes when fair use actually applies. Now, this is a huge issue across the entirety of YouTube, not just the paranormal side of it. Everyone struggles with this. I've got loads of channels. I think I've got like 12 channels on the go, right? And I struggle with the copyright system like 9 times out of 10 when it comes to uploading videos, because it's a very fickle thing, and if someone detects that you've got their content, and the worst one is when people license content, so like Dukin Media are the thorn in my side, because they license everything that goes even semi-viral, and then the second that you use it, they will strike that video and they will get it taken down, or they will claim all of the ad revenue for it. It is the most frustrating thing, and this is very similar. I don't know what situation the management company have got with Sam and Colby. They may own the rights to the content, which might be why they're so heavy on claiming. They might just, represent the content and maybe don't want Sam and Colby painted in a negative connotation. I don't know. But, Beardo seems to be fighting the case alongside the likes of Mythos. It's... So Beardo then goes on to talk about the impacts on, him being a quote-unquote small creator. So he's got sub 60,000 subscribers, right? And notes the financial and legal disadvantage against wealthy entities like Sam and Colby, or even Spotter 3, who can afford prolonged legal battles. And the copyright claim prevent monetization, and a threat of strikes discourages appeals, effectively silencing smaller creators, which it can do. Because like I said, you do the initial counterclaim, and then if the claimee rejects that, you then have to either just, bow down and be like, fine, and, let it slide, or you can appeal it, but it'll be, in a court kind of situation where, you would literally claim it through a court, and then people would look at it, and it then goes out of YouTube's hands completely. And then you're starting to wonder, how crazy is it that a court case is based over copyright stuff, because someone called someone else fake and someone else didn't like it, so they then just struck the entire video. It's quite a serious thing to happen. So to circumvent the claims, Beardo plans to further edit the video, so they're gonna knuckle down with it to align with fair use, and they encourage supporters of different paranormal channels like Spaghetti Paranormal, for example, who is a smaller debunking channel, and warn about Spotter 3's broader pattern of targeting critics, including those discussing Mr. Beast, for example. Mr. Beast's a bit of a different one. The content that criticizes Mr. Beast, for example, doesn't necessarily get struck. I've always noticed that whenever I mention Mr. Beast in a video, it never performs very well, almost as if that's more of a YouTube thing. That's me being speculative and trying to theorize, but there's a possibility there. Now, Beardo did, follow through with what he initially said he was going to do. And he uploaded the video, Sam and Colby, I Will Never Forgive This, which was the original reaction video that he was planning on doing. Obviously, huge disclaimer at the start to try and get it to fall under fair use, all the rest of it. You know how it goes. It happens all the time, right? And within the video, he then goes on to roast Sam and Colby and the content that they create. Now, obviously, it's a bit of an interesting one, because I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of that, because it's kind of irrelevant to the point, which is Sam and Colby kind of getting their feet on the stone to say. But it's an interesting one, because obviously Sam and Colby have been the target of skepticism and a lot of issues. But on the other hand, right, with them being represented by a company, is this necessarily Sam and Colby's fault, right? And that's the question that I've got. Obviously, I know what it's like to have some shady management, to say the very least, who do things on your behalf without you being aware of it. That's not the case for me now, I must say, but I've had that in the past where people have done things on my behalf, and then I found out about it later, and I've been like, the fuck are you playing at? And they've been like, oh, we thought it had your best interest at heart. No, it had their best interest at heart. Now, Sam and Colby might be completely none the wiser that their content is getting copyright strikes to other creators. They may be none the wiser. They may well be aware. But, there's obviously, when it's Sam and Colby who are the face of it, they are going to get the brunt of the shit for it. But behind the scenes, they might not even be aware that this is even going on. They may not be aware of who Beardo is. They may not even be aware that this video's dropped. They may not even be aware that their content is being used in such a capacity. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think on this down in the comments below. Way down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button and subscribe. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.